Today's video is to a person who means the most to me of anybody in the world, my daughter. Her name is Madelyn. She doesn't understand why her mom missed out on a lot of her life because her mom found something that was so huge that she had to follow through. About 4 years ago, the Department of Justice, they gave me this little binder and they said, hey, you put your to-do list in there. Well, my to-do list included having several people that were committing fraud and corruption and discrimination about exposing them. My daughter is an amazing, amazing person today. She's 18. And she is rightfully mad at me. And there's an article about me from 2010. See, Carlos Ghosn, the CEO of Nissan, he was arrested a few years ago. But that arrest happened after I whistleblew, and I spent about a decade showing how corrupt he was. My good friend, Dee Kelly, who was my tennis partner, her husband was Greg Kelly. And Greg had me arrested 3 times when Madelyn was only 8 years old. For 10 years of my child's life, she had a deal when she lived in Tennessee, being the daughter of a whistleblower, and she was bullied. Here's an article about me. And from Jalopnik. It wasn't easy for her. And I actually had to beg people to get my kid out. And they helped. And my daughter now has a very good life in Illinois. And to the people of the Obama administration that helped, thank you. And to her dad, thank you. I want my daughter to know, because she's told people that I never thought of her. I've thought of her every day. I have pictures of her all over my home. She said, well, she doesn't put me on her blogs. Well, I don't put you on my blogs because I was protecting your privacy. You don't know how much I love you. When people showed up in Illinois to send me a message and literally went to you, it scared me. Madelyn, I love you. I want you to know that I made a decision in 2010. I saw women in a company go from 20.9% down to 10%. And it says in the article in Jalopnik that I gave up custody of my child, but I wanted my child to know. It says in this article, it says that women in management were down, and I exposed it, and it was true. And it cost me my child. And she wants her daughter to know that, okay, my daughter is why she withdrew from a custody battle with her daughter. And she wanted people to know that I believed that fighting for women and making the world fair would help my daughter more. It would help my daughter more. It would help my daughter more in the long run if I fought for women. And why did I think that? Because of her grandma. Madelyn, your grandma was an activist. She was an amazingly, insanely bright and gifted woman. Your grandma did so much for the world. She fought to have no smoking on airplanes. She fought to have no smoking in restaurants. CBS 48 Hours spent 2 days with us, and they have a whole expose I'll show you on your grandma. Your grandma was a very, very intense lady, and she's kind of why your mommy is so intense. And Just because I'm intense doesn't mean I don't love you. And just because I haven't been with you doesn't mean I don't love you. A person from Google told me that I needed to use social media to reach out to you because I've used social media to expose fraud and corruption. People are in jail today because of my blogs. People that were wronged and that were living in fear don't live in fear today because of my blogs. I've done a lot of good, but I did that good sacrificing my relationship with you. Madelyn, my goal, well, Governor Northam has a stay-at-home order. I'm in Virginia. I'm not in Florida because my Florida home has a lot of elderly and I was exposed to coronavirus. But good news, I don't have coronavirus. I got tested negative. I could have had it, but I don't have it now. But Madelyn, now that I'm 1,000% healthy, I am going to do everything to show you how much I love you. I'm going to show you everything. And I understand why you're mad. I accept that you're mad. I was in shock when I heard that you didn't think I thought about you, and I was sad. But I love you. And I'm so proud of how you've turned out. And Madelyn, I want you to know that a trial is going to happen for Greg Kelly, and that was the man that had me arrested in 2010. And that trial is going to vindicate me. And I have sought vindication, and I'm writing a book so I can show you why I left your life. I was always in your life. Let's face it, I took you on a couple dozen trips to Disney World during this whole process. And we have some awesome memories. Maddie, we have good memories. Did I ever ignore you and get on my computer and do a blog post because somebody texted me, you need to do this? Yes, I did. And that made you feel mad. And I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I just want you in my life. And the only way to have you in my life is to tell you the truth. So, Maddie, I'm telling you the truth. The truth is that after I whistleblew about Carlos Ghosn being corrupt, people were so fearful of me. I had death threats, and I was scared. And because of my being scared, I then continued to help out more people to get my life. So what happened is I lived in fear because when I whistleblew at Nissan, then it took a while, but Carlos Ghosn now has gone to jail. And those death threats against me are gone because people now know that the Department of Justice is doing their job. And because of that, Madelyn, I can be in your life. People won't hurt you. I know that you were scared because when we were in Tennessee, the police would pull over the car and they would go, and is there a warrant against you? I mean, it was bad. And Madelyn, I know how bad it was. And I know that people targeted you. And I've been told recently how bad it was for you. And you still turned out to be this amazing person. You don't know how amazingly proud I am that you became the person you are. Look at this. I'm still wearing your Jefferson Junior High sweatshirt that you wanted me to give to Goodwill. I couldn't give it to Goodwill. I'm wearing Twilight's collar. I am going through a lot with this pandemic stay at home. And I am my book is getting ready. This pandemic has given me time to get my shit together. I'm going to show you, Maddie, why I wasn't in your life, but that I thought about you every single day. I can't wait because eventually I'm going to be 100% vindicated. There's going to be a trial in Japan. And people are going to know that your mom stood up for people that were discriminated against because they were black, because they were gay, or because they were a woman. You think that I supported Trump, so that made me a racist homophobe. You're going to find out that's not true. You're going to find out that I stood up for everybody. You're going to find out that while I stood up, I was still thinking about you. And I thought that the world would be better if I spoke out because I knew that you were okay. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have. Once I whistleblew, I kind of let the genie out of the bottle and I couldn't go back. Honey, I love you. I know you're mad and I know you're an adult and you can decide if you want me in your life or not. But there's two sides to every story and you've only heard one side. I'm going to tell you the side you haven't heard. I love you, Madelyn. Stay tuned. You're going to see how much I love you and how much I want you to understand and maybe even forgive me.